Time now just about 7:34. We are taking a deeper look at one of our top stories this week, where two people were shot and another stabbed at Sky Harbor Airport on Christmas night. Remember the story. Then another man was arrested after showing up with guns at the airport and fighting with officers on scene. So attorney Josh Kolsrud is joining us this morning with details on airport security, the legal consequences that can come from this. Josh, thanks so much for joining us. A lot unfolded on Christmas Day. Not something we're used to hearing about. Where does this all begin as far on the legal side?
Sure, and thanks for having me. So, on Christmas night, you had 5 individuals involved in a shooting and a stabbing. And, all indication is that they knew each other. And what happened was they were in a public area before you go into security. And at some point, it appears that a teenager pulled a knife and somebody took offense and then shot 3 people. Security did a good job and was able to apprehend everybody before they were able to escape. So right now, what needs to happen is the prosecutors need to kind of unravel whether or not there are any legitimate self-defense claims, and also the motivations behind, the reason why the fight even occurred.
And when something like this takes place, as far as the investigation and just how long it takes, it's going to be quite some time, right, for prosecutors to figure this out and for all these legal cases to come into the courtroom.
Yes, it will take some time, and because it's a high-profile case, it'll probably take a little longer. Now, in Arizona, the prosecutors have 48 hours to press charges when somebody is in custody. So, this happened on Wednesday, the 25th, and today is the 29th. So, presumably, if they were going to be charged, they would have to do so already. If charges are not brought, the prosecutors and the police department have to release the suspects, and then they have 7 years to decide whether or not they have enough information to press charges. Now, in this case, it's a little bit hinky because it took place at an airport, which brings into the idea that there could be federal charges, federal investigations into this. But right now, we just don't know. Now, it's not illegal to bring a gun to an airport if you're in a public area. Now, if you go through security, then it becomes illegal. So, the FBI is probably going to want to interview the suspects to determine whether or not there was any motivation to go through security. Why did they bring a gun to an airport? Why did somebody else in the party bring a knife? Typically, this isn't the place you want to have a family reunion.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the interesting part was we have that fight and everything that broke out with that large group, and then we had a separate situation due to someone else who saw everything transpire and then brought his own guns to the airport.
I'm glad you brought this up. So 2 hours after the altercation, you had a person who was mentally disturbed, and it almost unraveled like the movie Die Hard. This guy, he hears that there is an active shooter at the airport. He received a text saying that, so he brought 3 weapons, 3 handguns, actually 2 handguns and a rifle to the airport. But he also, just like John McClane in Die Hard, he didn't have any shoes on, he didn't have a shirt on, just a pair of shorts. But here's the thing. He went there not because he wanted to help anybody. He went there because he wanted to commit suicide by cop. In the press release, the Phoenix Police Department highlight that when he got there, he handed 2 of his weapons to a security guard. He had another weapon presumably on him, and he started shouting at a police officer, "Kill me, kill me," which, is obviously a classic indication what this guy wants to do, commit suicide by cop.
Yeah, and Josh, we have to start to wrap up, but just curious just to follow this up, what type of charges could be possible with this man?
Well, whenever there's a weapon involved, it enhances a regular assault to be an aggravated assault. And in particular, if you have a firearm or a knife, you're looking at a Class 3 dangerous felony, which carries with it mandatory prison time of 5 to 15 years. Now, also, when you have weapons like that, the prosecutors are going to be looking at attempted murder charges as well, which is a Class 2 felony, and you face between 7 and 21 years. So there's some significant penalties that are involved in a case like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Josh Kolsrud this morning, thanks so much for joining us, for your insight. A lot to come to the future. We'll definitely be keeping our eyes open and see what transpires from this.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.